So thank you for the introduction. I will rightly dive in. So I will present in the next 15 minutes, I will present you 3 projects. The first is the DRIVES project, which is the huge umbrella project for education in the automotive domain. I will explain later that this is a really ambitious project. And then 2 follow-up projects to that, the ECP project and the CyberEng project, which goal was to develop 2 courses within this whole framework of automotive education of the DRIVES project. Okay, my focus is not in the slides, so now. Let me start with what happened 10 years ago. Can someone of you give me some hints? Some events maybe? Maybe to keep it short, I just picked random events. Curiosity landed on Mars, the Costa Concordia shipwrecked, and Felix Baumgartner jumped from orbit. To me, it seems not so long ago, but this is already 10 years. And while Felix Baumgartner jumped from orbit, what did you do 10 years ago? What were you working? Or are you still like this ambitious young bachelor student? Let's call him Mike. What were you studying? And what are you doing now? And could you have ever imagined 10 years ago which work you will do in 10 years in the future? Which skill set you will need 10 years in the future? I would have never imagined what I'm doing right now. But actually, this was the basic question behind the DRIVES project. Will be the skills and the job roles, what will be needed in 10 years in the future in the automotive market? And how can we educate the people to get those skills which they will need 10 years in the future? So the actual goal was to create this EU-wide education and certification program for the automotive industry of the future. Quite ambitious, I would like to say, but we had help. In total, we had 24 partners from academia, industry, certification, and education bodies. The whole project went about 4 years and had 4 million euros of budget. We already trained over 1,000 students within this whole education program for different roles, and 2 of them, the ECP and the CyberEng, I will talk about later. So not all of Europe was involved, but very many countries. We had 24 partners. We also had 11 associate partners from different domains, which was of course important because we want to get everyone involved, because this is a mega project in reality. And without getting everyone involved, all manufacturers, all OEMs, it wouldn't succeed. So here is just an image of our partners with all their logos. As you see, quite many, but not everyone, but very many. And within these whole partners and within this scope of the project, we did many studies, we did many evaluations, what will be needed and what all these people think will be needed in the future. And afterwards, we came up with about 60 job roles that will be needed 10 years from now, or now 8 years from now, or maybe will already now be needed. So our goals were to assess these skill gaps and compared from now to the future skills which are needed in the automotive sector. We, of course, wanted to integrate all the existing skills framework, which are already existing in the EU area. So we want to integrate them and improve them, because you can't fight against the big players in the market. And of course, we try to integrate everyone. So this is an open framework where every education body can supply courses to the automotive sector. And yeah, you can just book them. So it's like in German or Austria, I like to call this Geizhals oder Willhaben for education courses. Of course, mutual recognition was an important topic, so that you have some courses at university, but also courses at and trainings at industry, and how to interchange and account these courses between domains. And of course, it should be a European automotive skills umbrella, which includes everything. So already existing skills and already existing courses also. Yeah, and this is what I meant with the apprenticeship market. So it's like Geizhals for educational courses in the automotive industry. What we did achieve, so this project is already finished, but it's a living project. So there were quite many follow-up projects, I think over 10 or so, which are distributed among the partners and many more, which still produce content, which update content. So this thing lives. It's not like we created it once and now it dies. This is an education program for the automotive industry, which lives and continues to grow. So we created this roadmap for the skills. We created around 60 job roles, which will be needed. We established this EU-wide recognition, so every country in the EU recognizes and accepts these badges. We supply badges, digital badges for all the courses. And we had quite some online and on-site trainings for over 1,000 trainees, which were given these certifications afterwards. Quite good, impressive, I would say. So here's just a glimpse of the job roles we came up. And this was by surveys from industry and academia. So this is not just something we invented, but these were actual surveys of people working in the field who said, yes, we could need this in the future, maybe 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years from now. For example, rubber technologist, robotic technician. Many of those job roles are already needed nowadays, of course, but they will get extended. Machine learning engineer, maybe something of the newer roles. Artificial intelligence technician, computer vision expert, all roles which haven't existed 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have many machine learning engineers in automotive. Now we really need them. We established several platforms which supply you with resources and where you can search for the job roles and also book some courses. Many of them are free. Some of them cost something, depending on the education body. So all courses which were developed in EU projects are free. And the materials are free, and you can do them like a massive open online course by yourself. But there are also guided educations where you have some trainer interaction and some synchronous interaction and communication with some trainers. And these are generally not free, but of course, there are different ones. So the page for that is drives-compass.eu. I also provided a small QR code here. So this is the first place to go to. And there you can already see we have 3 parts: the training courses, where all the courses of all education bodies integrated into this framework are listed. The skills and competences. So if you have an employee searching for a specific skill or missing a specific skill, you can search the platform for it, and then you see the courses which would train this skill. But you could also search for job roles, which is the 3rd part. When you see, okay, I have a new employee and I want to develop him into or her into a machine learning expert or into an expert in electronic powertrain, then I just search for a specific job role and see which skills are needed for the job role and which trainings could provide some benefit for this skills and job role. Then we created a MOOC platform for massive open online courses, which can be attended freely. So many of these courses on learn.drives-compass.eu are free to use, and there is a huge amount of resources there, which you could use for free, basically. Except if you want to have trainer interaction, these are mostly the paid courses, for which we also have a third platform, the academy.eurospy.net. So the Eurospy Academy is one approach outside of the Drives project, which supplies courses for the platform. This is an additional resource for the Drives platform. But the Eurospy Academy is mostly with trainer interaction, because we think that this is way more useful and way more sustainable, because you can then ask questions and the trainer can directly respond to some skill gaps which he identifies during the courses. Okay. So much for the Drives platform. So you remember, this is the huge umbrella project which defined the blueprints for the job roles and which skills are needed. And now let's go into the ECP project, which is also already finished, and which goal was to create a course for a specific role. And the role was the electric powertrain engineer, which also didn't exist 10 years ago, or just in the beginnings, was just in the Kinderschuhen 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But now it's a thing, and you, if you want to get employed at OEMs or manufacturers, if you have this electric powertrain engineer skills, then you have high chances that you will get employed. I will jump over the trends, maybe this one. By 2040, Bloomberg projects that 58% of global passenger vehicle sales will come from electric vehicles. Many governments, many countries will forbid traditional combustion engines by 2030, 33, or 2040 and 50. So this is a trend. Electric vehicles are coming, but I don't have to explain this to you. You already know this. Now to the partners. This was, as you see, a smaller project where we only had 5 partners in this case. And the goal was to create this specific course and integrate this into the whole Drives project. So just to give you a glimpse of the parts of the course, of the content. So first we go over an introduction for the newbies, for those who have never seen a V model, for those who have never seen the internals of an electric vehicle. Then we go into system engineering. What are the components? What are the parts? How they are connected to each other? What are the mechanical signal flow? What is the powertrain? And what is the digital, the information signal flow maybe? We also go into propulsion systems. So how do electrical engines work? How do gearboxes work? Which different kinds of gearboxes are there? Which different kinds of electric motors are there? So this goes quite deep into mechanical engineering. Then we also talk about the energy storage systems. So how do we store our energy? This also has a side info about hydrogen cars, of course, and hydrogen-powered cars. And in the end, we also talk about lifecycle management. So from invention, from design until to decommissioning or maybe reuse and giving, for example, car batteries a second life in housings, for example, in houses. We discussed the whole life cycle of an electric vehicle and all its components. So this is an example of the ECP course. This course takes 1 week in total. And these are the links to it. So www.projectecp.eu. And there you can, if you click on it and the details, then you can register in the academy eurospy.net also for it. And the first introduction section, which basically summarizes everything, is for free. The other ones cost something because their trainer action has to be involved. But as said before, the first is free, so to get you some glimpse of the content of this course. If you want to have further information, georg.macher@thugraz.at is your contact. So to get on with the topic, the next course I will show you is the CyberAnk. As you can see, we get dark, not into the darknet, but into cybersecurity. This is an ongoing project right now, so this is not yet available in the Drives project, but will be at the end of the year, maybe the start of next year. So this course is about cybersecurity. So which cybersecurity skills do we need in the automotive sector? Yeah, I don't have to explain you that this is a really upcoming topic now. When every vehicle is more and more connected and uses more and more software, also the attack surface gets larger, and also the exploits are used more and more. For example, 80% of passive keyless entry systems of cars released in the last 2 years are still exploitable by a man-in-the-middle attack. And this in 2022, this shouldn't be possible. So these are some examples which we talk about in the cybersecurity, in the CyberAnk course. This is also a course for 1 week. These are the partners. And this is the structure of the course. So basically we have 3 roles: the cybersecurity engineer, the cybersecurity manager, and the cybersecurity tester. But this we excluded in this project because it was too large to handle. So to look at the general topics of the course, we start with cybersecurity management, which is of course interesting for the cybersecurity manager. Then operations and maintenance, also interesting for the manager. And then the engineering aspects of cybersecurity, which is interesting more for the engineer. And then the testing aspects of cybersecurity, which is also interesting for the manager, but most would have been interesting for the cybersecurity tester role, of course. Okay, so if I have some employees which want to learn something about cybersecurity, you can send them to the CyberAnk education. The first 2 passes, I think, are free of charge because this is an EU project. So now is the chance to get a free cybersecurity course for 1 week. I think we will do it in a hybrid way the first time, but that's not defined yet. But if you're interested, this is a free course for at least for the first 2 runs. Okay, so for more information, go to the project website, the project-cyberank.eu, or contact Georg Macher@thugraz.at again. And we will try to get in contact that you can, for example, attend the courses for free.